The pancreas is an accessory organ, involved primarily in the digestive process, but also in the production of hormones. It is an oblong-shaped organ, positioned at the level of the transpyloric plane. The pancreas is a retroperitoneal organ, with the exception of its tail. It is usually divided into 5 parts: head, uncinate process, neck, body, and tail. The pancreas is in close proximity with other vital organs. The stomach is separated from the pancreas by the lesser sac. The stomach and pylorus lie anterior to the pancreas. The duodenum curves around the head of the pancreas. Its first part lies anteriorly, while its second part lies laterally, to the right of the pancreatic head. The transverse mesocolon attaches to the anterior surface of the pancreas. The common bile duct descends behind the head of the pancreas, before opening into the second part of the duodenum, alongside the major pancreatic duct, through the major duodenal papilla. The aorta and inferior vena cava pass behind the pancreas. The superior mesenteric artery lies behind the neck of the pancreas, and anterior to the uncinate process. The splenic artery runs over the top of the pancreas. The pancreas is mainly supplied by the pancreatic branches of the splenic artery. The head is additionally supplied by the superior and inferior pancreatico-duodenal arteries, which are branches of the gastroduodenal, from coeliac trunk, and superior mesenteric arteries. Pancreatic veins carry deoxygenated blood away from the pancreas. The anterior superior pancreatico-duodenal vein empties into the superior mesenteric vein, while the posterior variant empties into the hepatic portal vein. Both the anterior and posterior inferior pancreatico-duodenal veins drain into the superior mesenteric vein, while the pancreatic veins, draining venous blood from the body and tail, empty into the splenic vein. The pancreas is drained by lymphatic vessels that follow the arterial supply. They empty into the pancreaticosplenal nodes and the pyloric nodes, which in turn drain into the superior mesenteric and coeliac lymph nodes. Innervation of the pancreas occurs by the sympathetic division of the autonomic nervous system through the splanchnic nerves, and by the parasympathetic division through the vagus nerve. The main pancreatic duct of the Wirsung arises in the tail of the pancreas. Through the tail and body of the pancreas, the duct lies midway between the superior and inferior margins, slightly more posterior than anterior. The accessory pancreatic duct of Santorini drain the antero-superior portion of the head, either into the duodenum, at the minor papilla, or into the main pancreatic duct. Islets of Langerhans in the pancreas play a primary role in carbohydrate metabolism. They consist of several types of cells: alpha, beta, and delta. 25% of all islet cells are type A, alpha, cells that produce glucagon, 60% are B cells that synthesize insulin, and 10% are D, delta, cells that secrete somatostatin, SIH. Insulin is secreted in pulsatile bursts, mainly in response to increases in the blood levels of glucose. It has anabolic and lipogenic effects, and promotes the storage of glucose in the liver. Insulin activates enzymes that promote glycolysis and glycogenesis and suppresses those involved in gluconeogenesis. Glucagon is released from cells in response to hypoglycemia and sympathetic impulses. Glucagon secretion is inhibited by glucose and somatostatin as well as by high plasma concentrations of free fatty acids. The actions of glucagon mainly antagonize those of insulin. Somatostatin is produces in D cells and is released in response to increased plasma concentrations of glucose. It inhibits the release of insulin, gastrin and glucagon production.